Go
Let's
on.
have a look around. There's a Mutinous to the top right, or an Alec here, or a Flurgle. Actually, Tautau's got a lot of choices there. Daryl's interesting. Yeah, I wondered if patches might get taken there, because Daryl is very much a second place hero. It's fantastic for ladder, but you get that bonus point in this tournament for coming first. And that does lower Daryl's overall sort of points estimated or expected value.
I think Island Cat might be in a little bit of trouble, right? In his choices. They don't look too great. Look like there was only really one choice as far as I could see. It's a little bit rough.
Yeah, Blackthorn's okay though. You can get the tempo to keep yourself alive, and keeping alive in the current meta means more shops. More shops means more chance to fall into a good comp. And I missed most of that. Slysssa was on, I don't even know how to say secret guy's name, so I'm going to say secret guy. Somebody was on Sneeds in the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed.
And we have Brann and Cookie, right? And Patches.
Okay. Yeah, Patches was on China, so Brann and Cookie it was. Mm. Very aggressive choices. Very good chance of coming first. Very good chance of coming last with some of those.
Yeah, looks like Collins has Sneed, so that's going to be a nice opening for him. And he has the option of the pups as well early on. I'm not sure if that's going to be worth a freeze, although I imagine players could be tempted. But with the tokens and with, of course, Sneed's hero power, he probably will just be happy with just letting the Tavern re-roll and just pressing that button.
Yeah, the pups are an interesting choice if you're going for Sneeds, because they're a fantastic card, but they don't die. So sometimes it's better to keep your options open. Obviously, they get buffed by grease bots, etc. But maybe on Sneeds, maybe with a token start, he's going to look for something a bit more acolyte-y and some Avenge mechanics. And so C'thun here, standard curve. When you get a token, you just make sure you press the button every turn and work out the rest accordingly. The curve's reasonably straightforward if you do it that way. You end up just press button, level when the numbers are available. And the only really difficult thing comes on the 8 mana turn when you've got to buy 2 things and press the button, so you end up just buying any old rubbish or rolling 3 times, depending how you feel on level 3.
Yep. I think a raise of the eyebrows from Dog. It's going to take some damage here, but again, going against Brann, I don't think you're expecting any kind of heavy leveling going on here, especially with the beasts and the Murlocs in the pool. You imagine you're going to see a lot of those sticking around on the low tavern levels and just getting those tokens, getting those battle cries cooking, so Brann can be active as quickly as possible.
Looked like Brann already had at least 2 battle cries as well there,
yeah.
So looks like he's going to be in an okay spot again. Okay. The power of Cookie, this very, very early extra minion. Dog's played it for the 3.
Yeah, the things I've noticed with Cookie as well is that I haven't played it enough. I've not had time to just obviously you can only play what you're offered. So I think I got Cookie offered for the first time, I think, a day and a half ago, so I've not really had the time. But I feel very interested on what the average power level is of that specific one, that kind of turn of what you roughly expecting. Are you expecting something that's going to carry the next turn or so? Is it just there purely to gain an additional minion and level for a little bit? Right. Are there any big hitters he would have wanted to get out of specifically that turn?
Dragons are in, right? I'm not very good at the pictures at all. No, dragons are out. So
elementals, demons, and dragons are gone. Yeah.
But no, you're just looking for something to carry you through the next levels. An extra statty minion, something like the bot that he took.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 damage. That'll be fine. You're not taking much damage for a few turns.
Right. And here La has not a bad offering with the 3rd captain. With another captain on the go as well. He's going to go for it here, get the triple, go straight into a 4.
Yep. Oh, he's hit Gold Grubber. That's fine. That'll take him some distance. It's not super thrilling when you look at it. It's just a Gold Grubber, but it's so early, and there's so much chance of getting another golden card that is actually going to be a monstrous minion for a few turns while he gets the levels up.
Yeah, it was freezing as well for that other captain, so it does look like he's planning on buying that pirate, being able to hero power for 1, potentially, and then still having the chance to buy an additional minion. So looking quite good here. And Collins, although his board looks small, I can tell you it's going to be large very soon because I am guessing that bot has plenty of hero powers into it now.
Let's see, he's on 3. He might only have 1, but should be okay.
I guess he could be going for... I know we were talking about this earlier, yesterday, last week. I don't know, it's all rolled into one. Oh, there you go, it had 2, right? But there's kind of 2 routes, isn't there, with Sneeds? Is whether you go a lot of hero powers early and stay on low taverns, or whether you actually try and get up to, say, 4+ and just start dropping those hero powers on the 4+ tavern minions as well to get stronger drops a little bit later on.
Yeah, people who are used to Galacron but haven't necessarily played much Sneeds, it's very similar decisions, like how greedy do I want to be compared to how much tempo do I want? And yeah, the way to play it for me is to put a couple on early and then get yourself up to some decent minions and then do it again. Just feel your way through the lobby and see how far ahead or behind you are. Make sure you keep up and don't take much damage whilst getting into a stronger position. You said Island Cat might struggle here. Well, yep. So far, nothing really doing here. Just some cards he found.
Yeah, he does have the health Murloc, so that's something, the honcho. It's something to maybe build on for now. It's not great. It's not really, you know, the average long-term plan, but it's more than just literally 4 random minions, so there's something there. But very interested as well in WTY Bill, because I think when we glanced at him a little bit earlier, he did have the Brann down, and he had set up for another golden next turn with a level, so he could potentially sell. Oh, there you go, that board that Slyssa's facing right now. He actually has the alley cat in hand, so he can actually just sell and then get all that sorted with a level up to then gold into 4, which could be a very nice turn for him, depending on what he gets, of course.
Out on the Reno hasn't even got a pair. Like, you really want triples on Reno to triple into something above your station, make it golden, and carry your way through. Let's have a look at WTY Bill on this.
Oh, good. This was the turn I wanted to see. So level to 4 is going to go for 5s. Okay. Is this Brann?
I mean, you can see it's going through his mind. Yeah, he's just gone for it.
Oh,
and he's gone for the other one. He's hit it.
What is going on? Okay.
Wow.
Not the best follow-up offerings, but who cares, I think, at this point? Because he just got Golden Brann out of absolutely nowhere. He's on 37 health, so even if he gets punched this turn, he's fine, and then he can start building on that. So that is truly ridiculous.
You say that, he's got Agam with the Golden Brann, so if he picks up the anything that generates the gems, they are suddenly pretty monstrous. He's got a board he's willing to sell. He'll be able to tidy that up, and as long as his next shop isn't atrocious, he's just going to get safe, start leveling, and then just buff everything. He might go to 6 quickly to try and get some really good Quillball synergy, but I think he'll just build up a board of the best cards he can find from each race and just get on with it and just buff them completely out of sight.
So let's see how these fights go down. It's going to be WTY Bill against this Murloc board. So
and
this
again,
is Island Cat, right,
here.
on the left?
Yes, it is, yeah. He'll take quite a bit here as the punishment for staying down and taking his last turn. It doesn't matter, he's on 37, he's taking 6. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean...
And now he's praying, just give me a half good shot, just not rubbish.
Yeah, 3 damage from the board at that point. That's a fair trade-off for just getting Golden Brann out of nowhere.
Patches is completely safe now. Looked pretty good as soon as he hit that gold grubber, but just not taking any damage. Still a little work to do to actually win the lobby, but he's going to have a good run with that Patches, I think.
Yeah, a little bit tricky here for Tao as well, because... obviously, it's not the end of the world that he's not hero-powered yet, but I also don't really see a hero power in sight in the near future for him here, so it's a little bit tricky. He's going to get that level and freeze the board as he needs, again, offered a pair in that shot.
WTY Bill, a big decision, actually, because Golden Brann and Murlocs go together really, really well, but he really wants to use that Agam as well, so I should imagine we'll see him keep the Agam around for a while, but build up the Murlocs in a normal way at that until that until he has to make the final choice, because these are just going to get huge.
Yeah, and I think this was just a good approach anyway. Offered the two basically mass buffs with Gold and Brann. This just shores up the problem he had last turn, because last turn he got the Brann but was a little bit slow. He took some damage. You don't want to then take damage again, and then suddenly you've got a fancy board, but it's too late. One loss and you're out. So I do like this, just going for all the buffs, and now his board looks way more competitive. Then he can build on Brann even more going forward.
Yeah, having the 3 different types of minion there is important. It means your jugs and your mugs get full value. And again, he's just probably going to wait and see whether to go full Murlocs or whether to go full Agam, just depending on his next couple of shops. Murlocs never go particularly wrong, but they top out a little bit low sometimes. If you can get the full Agam going off, which you don't very often, but if you can get that going off, that comp can become absolutely ridiculous. But it's a lot harder to set up.
Yeah, WTY Bill now with a very convincing win over the player who's on C'thun, which I'll be honest, I can't quite remember who that is, who's playing C'thun, but it's a strong win, a ton of damage, and is that actually... Okay, it would only ever be 15 anyway, because the 15 damage shield is still on, but still hitting for 14. That's a ton of pressure.
Has Tautau found himself something to actually use with his hero power now? I'm not sure he has. He was struggling the last we saw, not with a terrible board, but with no direction, really hoping to use his hero power. And this turn he kind of has to use it anyway now, if he hasn't used it on anything that looks like it might be useful.
Oh, he used it on the I use that card so little, I don't even know what it's
Green
called.
Thumb.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Something Green Thumb.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but that is a I'm going to die kind of Reno hero power, right? Like something needs to happen. He has a lot for the Avenge procs, and he's just trying to build up these 2 minions, both mechs. So now, for example, this Annoya module could go onto this 13/6 to give it a little bit more punch, and also help with the Avenge as well, because then it's taunted, it will get attacked and killed, and then the tokens spawn in front of the Green Thumb.
Right, and the Nest Matron is available there, and he's turned it down. So he's got a different plan in mind to where I might have gone with trying to generate 1 million cards here.
Yeah, I think he might think it's just a bit too slow.
I think that's the plan, the reason. He probably thinks he's okay to go and try and get full mech build here as well, with the tank and the grease bot hanging around.
And I love the minion movements here, because it's the decision of Green Thumb you want in between 2 minions you plan on keeping. But then he's like, but I want tank on the right. But wait, I want Greasebot on the right. I don't want any of these to die. So it's that difficult decision of where you're actually lining things up.
Talking of dying, PF has got nothing on this C'thun. He's got a 22-17 and a prayer right now.
Yeah, I think he got punched by a teammate last round as well.
He did.
So down to 4 suddenly out of nowhere.
What's WTY Bill done this turn? He's managed to get himself a Deflecto and some generic bits and pieces, but nothing too game-breaking yet for the Golden Brann, apart from obviously the fact he's got a Golden Brann.
Right, which I've heard is pretty good.
It's pretty reasonable, Raven, yeah, it's pretty reasonable, and he will start picking up a way to get himself some blood gems very shortly by the look of how he's gone.
This tank, though, getting work done. It didn't take a value trade there, though, so that's a big deal. And he's just going to even this one out here. But both players, the Reno, it's probably really good for the Reno player as well. For Tautau just being able to survive one more turn and maybe build up something.
Alright, PF, top 8's this one. Never really got rolling at all. That does happen with modern C'thun. It's not the powerhouse it once was. Still a playable minion. What game am I casting? Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. That's not a bad board here for Island Cat, or a bad shop, should I say?
Gonna have a good shot at hitting C'thun here.
Gold's the honcho. Yeah, on the right, Colin still just hanging on with this Sneed. He's piecing together something. Of course, we don't have a tracker of how many of those death rattles are stacked on any specific minion, but still, the fact he's been hanging on and still in the game, things must be going pretty well. Got plenty of divine shields and a bit of a mech base as well, and no shortage of resources as well. With the 3 cards in hand, one of them in fact sells for 3 gold as well.
This is just a very nice base to build from for Collins. He's got like you say, money. He's got tanks. He's got buffs. He's got okay divine shields. He's probably in a better spot than he looks, I think.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
He just bought the tank, right?
Yep.
Couldn't he have pretty much done this turn but fit in the 3-2 Murloc as well?
I'm going to pass on that. If you think so,
He might not have. He might not have. I just think he would have made the gold back up with the Discover. I just wonder whether it would be worthwhile and then still ended on the turn. I think he would have used the mech, the Leaper, and had to use it, sell it, and then hero power.
So
I might be wrong there.
On a tank. That's not that important. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong. So you know,
maybe there just wasn't anything he wanted, and he thought it would just be not even worth missing that one buff. But
sure.
Interesting.
Here though, on both screens, we're just seeing tanks galore.
Yeah.
Wow, big win there for Tao on the Reno on the left. He looked like he was next out, honestly. I'm surprised he wasn't first out based on what his board looked like just a few turns ago. But Collins and Tao now with some good wins that round, keeping them in and bringing a few players down to their level a little bit more.
Triple for Slysssa. She needed that to make some board space to keep her comp sort of hanging in. It's looking pretty decent. I'm getting the overall feeling here that that Americas are in a much better spot this time around overall. Apart from WTY Bill, who's got that potentially insane brand stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
La La La's stuff just never really developed, did it? It looked like the early gold grubber might get quite big. It sort of hasn't really taken off.
Yeah, and suddenly these pirates just... You need a very specific enemy to be able to survive here, don't you? Where like the buffs can get going a little bit with the two, with all the buffs across the board on pirates. So we'll see how that pans out for La La La. Important as well, I know this is, means nothing new to competitive Battlegrounds, but Slysssa, no doubt having Ice Block by now, is a huge deal because it's more points, right? Potentially, if
Absolutely.
you can just last it. We're getting to the point where multiple players now are basically one fight away from losing and being killed. And the fact that Slysssa can basically dodge one of those sets of fights means that that could just be one extra point here, maybe even more, depending on how the fights go. So that Ice Block might come in clutch to try and recover some points here for the Americans.
Let's see how this pirate build goes at the top, because I think there might be more buffs than is instinctive. The numbers get big pretty quickly with the three pirates on the right. Unless they all get blown up by tanks, of course.
Yeah, that was a lot of bombs.
Could be game winning here if the things go right actually for Dog. Just because of the drops, yeah?
Oh yeah, that'll do. Easy peasy. Dog is going to knock out Patches. And also just taking a quick look on the left as well. It's Island Cat on the Brann right. He did manage to pick up 2 C'thun, which has definitely helped him set up, especially with that specific fight against Slysssa. Sorry, WTY Bill.
WTY Bill. Yeah, I was going to wait till you finish the sentence, but yes, it's fine.
And especially with that fight, it was good enough where it was so even that so many minions died that the C'thun actually managed to go off a little bit. I think one of the C'thun and one of the other Murlocs were given poison that turn. So even though he didn't deal damage, that's a pretty successful next step with his brand there.
America's bottom 3. Am I right on that? I think they are.
And no, Island Cat was thingy, right?
Sorry, I mean all China bottom 3. Sorry.
Oh right, okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure Island Cat was in there somewhere. Let's have a look. So Collins is Sneeds. WTY Bill is Brann, of course. Slysssa is Azamaraka, or whatever it's called. I also cannot remember.
Oh no, Tao is on the Reno, so there are 2 from China, 3 from Americas left in.
Right. Still, that's what the Americas need, right? After the last lobby, they need some level of success here.
WTY Bill, apologetic there. I think he really wanted to go for the Agam build and it just never came. So he's like, all right, sorry fans, but we're on Murlocs with Gold and Brann. Sorry I'm boring. But you've got to do what it takes. If Bob doesn't want to give you what you're after, you've got to take what he does give you. And Gold and Brann Murlocs is obviously absolutely fine.
Yeah. A little bit annoying facing those mechs though. The divine shields are the counters, I guess, to the poison.
Yep. Has got the chance to just start picking up more amalgams though, because he's there so amalgadons, because he's there so early. Trying to work out if he actually has lethal chances here. 9% according to the top. That feels like it still stands.
It should survive, right? So
Yeah, it survives.
Yeah, 5, just 10 for now. But Tao again on 3 means any loss will be game over. Slysssa there takes the victory in that fight against Dog, but Dog's still in now, so we can see a bit of a refreshed picture of how these things look. But yeah, all 4 Americas players still in with a chance. And if they can, if someone can just deal with Tao and then everyone else draw, the Americas will have done about as well as they could possibly do right for this lobby. And they definitely needed to, because they were very far behind after lobby 1.
Just want to rewind to a comment I made earlier actually about Tao and, you know, the nest matron he could have taken. This was what he was visualizing at the time he didn't take that nest matron. He was in too much of a hurry. You said at the time, you know, it looks a little bit slow. You're right. He's gone for this, and now he's on the edge of having a possibly lobby-winning comp.
I do feel like this one specifically has been a lot more even than a lot of the lobbies we've had so far today. This one feels like, you know, I'm not going to quite call who exactly is going to say win and come second. It feels like, you know, anything could happen right now, which at least for me hasn't felt like the case previously today.
Yeah, Dog's not far at all away from having an amazing comp here. If he can hit that Golden Baron, suddenly this comp gets stats out of absolutely everywhere. WTY Bill's just sad that he's ended up with his comp. He's not sad that he's losing. He's not sad that his comp's bad. He's just, I think he wanted he's always been a bit of a showman. I think he wanted the more exciting looking comp, but here he is, Murlocs.
Okay, well, it's at least for WTY Bill looking favoured on paper versus Dog here.
Bob doesn't roll the dice on paper, Raven.
One of the drawbacks of like a single tank, right, is when minions such as Murlocs are buffed to this extent, right? It's so much health that these tank shots just don't quite do the damage they do against other cards.
Yeah, and it's a shame for him as well, because it's a 22-6, so it's really a minion you can't just dump it. It does take down Divine Shields though, so it's handy in that regard.
Okay, does he get a Divine Shield from a Death Rattle? Because this could be funny.
Oh yeah, that would be quite amusing, I see what you mean.
Yeah, just 2 mech rolls off there, you'll be like, wait a minute. That doesn't look like it adds up to me, Lorenda. So WTY Bill is going to take this victory in the fight over Dog, and I believe that will knock Dog out of this one. But still, most importantly, there's still 3 Americas players in the top 4 for now. I believe Tao is still alive. Yes, he is.
Yeah, so America's going really well. Pretty much a reverse of the last lobby is very much on the cards here.
And what's interesting here as well is WTY Bill is against Slysssa. And I think Slysssa, well, one, has a lot of health anyway, but also I think she still has Ice Block based on that amount of health, right? It seems very likely that Ice Block's still active, which means if he wins, he won't, like, even have a chance at knocking her out, which means it's more likely that specifically Tao is going to be killed this turn, which means the Americas will be able to get that top 3 finish.
Once again, the reminder that we have to sort of put in every now and again that the players don't know who is on each hero. They don't know who their teammates are, etc. in the game. So there's no way they can sort of shenanigans it to make sure they get the result they want. They just have to try and win the lobby and hope that winning the lobby is the best thing to do. And hope that their teammates aren't the people they beat first. Tao's comp isn't quite there, is it? It's just when you're looking at, say, Dog's comp in comparison, it's just a little bit better.
Right.
I think Dog probably played the second Baron there in case he got sapped.
It makes sense, doesn't it, right? Because without the Baron, things start falling apart, right? They're not quite as comfortable. So yeah, I definitely don't hate it. I think one additional minion does not make up for the safety net of just getting that double death rattle off multiple times.
Yeah, he knows about the tank as well, probably, by now.
Right.
People tend to know that tanks, who's got the tanks. So yeah, just like you say, safety net. Because look what it did. He only needed it to go off once and he gets all this. Just don't let the accident happen. And that's Tao Tao out as well. And this is a huge reversal of the last lobby.
Yeah, this is such a big deal, right? And I apologize as well earlier. I thought I might have misspoke. I might have said Dog was on Sneeds, and that's just incorrect. Collins is the one who was on Sneeds and was knocked out. But still, this is great for the Americas team now because it means all 3 players are in that top 3. And of course, they don't know that right now.
Right.
So they're still, of course, like doing everything they can to personally ensure a first place finish. But we can see that now we just the players are really just playing for that title of saying, oh, well, I won Lobby 2. You know, they can just say that. So, if you look at RDU from early today, a lot of these players would take great pride in that, being able to say, oh, well, I won 1 of the lobbies, or I won 2 of the lobbies. So, pretty
RDU
impressive
will be
performance
taking great
overall.
pride in that for a long time. Just want to point out that Americas will actually be in the lead, I'm pretty sure, because China came 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and Americas are coming 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th.
Right.
So they've not just clawed back some of the lead. We're talking about, oh, can they get it back in 2 lobbies? They're actually going to be in front, I believe, at the end of this lobby, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, in front, but still close, though, right? Which means that it really will come down into Lobby 3.
Yep, every point's going to be absolutely crucial in that last lobby for the second time in a row. Obviously, earlier today we saw Europe come back from a 10-point deficit to win by 1.
So here, do you think WTY Bill has got this in the bag? Do you think his Murlocs are good enough to take this?
2 divine
Don't look at the
shields.
percentages.
I think Dog, yeah, I'm actually trying not to. I think Dog might have time to switcheroo, but look at those percentages he hasn't because he's facing Bill right now. And
right.
Hasn't got the time I thought he might have 1 turn to try and just get a little bit more going on.
Yeah, I do love that out of nowhere. I do feel like last time we saw WTY Bill, he didn't have an over 120 health Murloc. But now he has a couple, all with poison as well. So even though Murlocs do often fall off, I think WTY Bill just got that golden brand so early and then got enough Murlocs early on to start really capitalizing on this. So really strong so far, and it is going to come down to WTY Bill versus Slysssa to end lobby number 2. Of course, we can see that it's a win-win scenario for the Americas team because they will gain all of these points regardless of who technically wins. But you're not telling me that either of these players wouldn't much prefer to be the actual lobby winner.
No, absolutely, you want to win that. The bragging rights in Battlegrounds is a big deal. Especially for me, because the time I won a lobby back in 2019, it was great. Remember it well. Everyone else conceded.
Yeah, although all these players are a team for this event, they still want to do better than the others in general ladder and such, right? So
yeah, especially that thing about not knowing your teammates. So you have won the lobby. It's not like one of your teammates say, yeah, but I deliberately tied with you on turn 6 so we could both...
Right. It's like, no, you won it fair and square, yeah.
How big are Slyssa's minions? Not really very big. I was trying to work out if she had any chance at all of challenging these Murlocs because of all the divine shields, but the trouble is, even if the divine shields hit, they're not big enough with 2 hits to kill the Murlocs.
Look, 170 health Murloc there, 128. There's 2 divine shield poisons as well with the taunt. If anything, I'm surprised the WTI Bill hasn't just sold the Brann and played one of these selfless here.
Yeah, I mean, you saw from Slyssa's smile that she knows how this is going down. She's seen Bill...
this is just a slow march into oblivion at this point, but still.
And she gets to do it again next turn. Because Well, she had.
And no, she lost Ice Block, I think. I think she lost it earlier on.
I think I've lost it.
You lost it way before today. I've known you a long time now, Lorinda, or a long enough time.
It's gone years ago, whatever it was. Trying to work out there's some incredible strike that could come out of the cleave button.
Yeah, even if the Foe Reaper, like now, just broke the ordering of the game and hit the right the middle Murloc to then kill the Mexner, the C'thun is still on over 100 health, I think, at that point, which is like, it looks like enough to me. WTY Bill is going to win lobby number 2, but I think most importantly, the Americas won lobby number 2.
What does that mean?
Size matters, so people can check out what size they are by typing the command size. See if they're chonkers or dinkers or average or growers or showers.